Since putting out my video on Virgil last year, I've been wanting to make a kind of follow-up piece, supporting those members of the community who are currently, or are thinking of in the future, building out a streetwear company or clothing brand. There's a feeling that I pick up in the space at the moment, and maybe it's just online, that says a streetwear brand is something to be started on your computer in a couple of hours, coming up with a clever logo design and signing up for a dropshipping account to seamlessly transport your work onto a garment somewhere thousands of miles away. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to pass judgment on people who find that model very freeing and empowering, but it's not the story I see when I look at the brands that actually garner respect in the space or mean something to the people around me.
I haven't even looked at the collection itself properly.
So you don't even know what's in the store right now, but you're still willing to queue up for it?
Of course. Hell yeah.
Why? Is it because Palace?
It's hype. All that hype, man.
So in this video I want to create a kind of antithesis to the frictionless dream of t-shirt dropshipping and look at how we can approach this creative challenge of streetwear startup through a different kind of lens. We're going to replace discussions of e-commerce platforms and packaging inserts for those around story, culture, community and identity.
If you look at this block vertically as your obstacle, there's a mentality just to go straight through it. There's another way, which is sort of going the long, hard, roundabout way, but actually ends up getting to your end result. That looks more like my career on the right.
So in this first section, I want to look at some ways that we can make a start, figuring out what we want to spend time doing in this space and what particular value that we ourselves can bring. We need to pin down those things that make us an individual and find those cultures and communities that we understand best and can help represent the beauty of in our products. To investigate this, we're going to look at the founding passions of a number of streetwear brands. But first let's jump into the story of Bobby Hundreds, looking at how he turned his obsession for the LA skate scene into the creative pursuits that would end up feeding his brand.
I was never that good of a skater. I did appreciate the community and the culture and the ecosystem around it. And so I brought my camera along. I started shooting live concerts and then writing as well, so I just started writing a lot. I still fancied myself as an artist. I looked up to guys like Futura, Kaz, Barry McGee, Margaret Kilgallen. Those were my superheroes.
I always wanted to make work that celebrated the outsider's willingness to take risks and bypass the system, but also to connect with people in a way that was relatable. Because I wanted to make homemade punk rock t-shirts, and my mom had a photocopier and a photocopier, so everything you get is just gonna be black and white. It was knowing that it was going to be in one color ink and that it couldn't be too detailed because I was hand cutting these paper stencils that I'd make t-shirts with.
DJing, hip hop and music, that's what I do. That's what I'm into. To get to where I'm at today, if I hadn't spent so much time learning things that weren't on my curriculum, I wouldn't sit before you today.
I'm talking to you via Zoom on top of a Macintosh amplifier and my computer sitting on some Technic 1200s. That's a bit of a context for what my studio at Louis Vuitton is like. I just don't show up here and do fashion in a silo. My life and career are about doing everything at once. So music is a part of my ecosystem, literally and figuratively.
In your pitch, you should be like, I want to represent kids that want to be filmmakers instead of rappers. There is a group of kids that are like, hey, I don't DJ, but I'm either a stylist or I'm an art director, I want to make films. Every kid that's rolling around with a camera and film camera or whatever, that they might not skate, they need a brand too.
So we've looked a little at how we can find ideas and think of where we should place our brand in the cultural landscape. Now, in this second section, I want to turn to the power and legitimacy we can create for ideas when we move them away from the computer and rub them up against the real physical world. Now, I understand that people have different personalities and limitations here, but all I'm really implying is that a brand is made stronger when relationships between real people in the real world are formed. And as creators, when we look at marketing opportunities, we can actually find space by turning away from the technology that everyone else is looking at and moving towards interactions with real humans or the physical landscape of the city as a powerful starting place.
I went to New York and I had a stencil and a bucket of hand-cut stickers. So my friend and I just walked around, Greenwich Village and put stickers up. And then, not long after that, I heard somebody at RISD saying like, yeah, did you hear? The Andre thing's made it to New York City. They're like, yeah, I put up like maybe 300 stickers or something, but people notice that stuff. I mean, it's like everything. The reason that, punk rock appealed to me was the idea, do it yourself. It's not about virtuosity. It's about just actually getting out there and doing it, having some skin in the game.
It's like derives from music that I listen to, or something that we'll see in a club and actually go and do it, or from traveling around. You go to New York nightclub and you listen to kind of dance beats. You go to Europe, come home, go surfing in your own hometown for a month, and just by keeping your eyes open and absorbing all this stuff, maybe just this weird breed of it comes out.
We don't even have samples. We have photocopies of hand drawings I've done of t-shirt. I show him the line sheet and he's like, you got where are your samples at? Like you have t-shirt. We're like, no, this is how you order it. He's like, I'll take this, this, and this on consignment. We take the money, we print the shirts, we come back, drop them off, and start calling up our friends. We're like, hey, come down to Fred Siegel. We'll give you cash, just go in there and start buying our stuff. Then we go to the next shop. Hey man, Bobby and Ben, We're the Hundreds, never heard of it. Oh really? Cause you should call up your boy over at Fred Siegel. Within a week, we're in 5 of the best stores in LA, and we're just running this ring.
So I hope those examples have offered some idea of the power that we can get when we turn away from technology and take our ideas into real landscapes, focusing on those human relationships. To take this further, I now want to look at the concept of community and culture, and how growing communities or supporting communities with your brand is really a great way to make it stick.
It has to have roots back in the actual something that was like a community of people. So I think it's important that your brand doesn't just live in your apartment with a few people that you know.
Should be out there,
other people should find it represents them, because it can be your concept, but unless there's you're finding ways to do community things and that just means 4 people getting together, because 4 people turns into 10, and then you do a party and then there's 30 people.
The IST, the International Stussy Tribe, has just been kind of a moniker that's stuck. It's definitely a group of people. It's friends in all these cities. Everybody's out looking for an identity.
You would be hard-pressed to ever find me talking about somebody. I can't live like that. I end up doing diarrhea of the mouth, where I'm sending signals out to be yo, if we can build a community, I'm down to be a conduit. I've learned that I can share opportunity, uplifting the people who help me get to where I'm at. So all of my relationships, they're elastic and circular.
To sum that community section up, I think we can think of a very simple principle, and that's just to give back any chance you can and try not to take too much. As a creator, this is how you can actually use your work to make things more powerful than yourself grow, and after some time, find yourself as an important and helpful cog inside a wider and more impactful movement that will hopefully outperform and outgrow anything you could do with your own individual efforts. Now in this final section, we're going to be looking at a bit of an extension of that idea, investigating a few of the sales models from the artists and brands that we've looked at today. Looking at how they manage the balance between maintaining strong, close communities and growing a brand that's sustainable and profitable.
The cartoon bomb that the Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote would run around with. If you notice, the bomb never explodes. It's just always under the surface of blowing up. And I'm like, that's how we should run our brand always. We should always be right about to get there, but it's nah, let's never actually blow out and disappear.
We're probably good at pulling the reins on letting it get too big.
It's not in every store on the block, so people still really want it.
It could right now be in a lot more stores and be a big thing that was doing double the amount of sales of the stuff. But then, you guys wouldn't be here wanting to talk about it, and all my homeboys wouldn't want to wear it because everybody else did. So there's really a fine line and a natural growth pattern to it.
Niche people love things to stay niche. or you know what I mean? Like keep underground things underground. And where I sort of hack the system, I think that's why my taste is eclectic, because I'm trying to like unravel this conception that things that are pop are whack, and things that are niche have to stay niche. When it's like in our lifetime, we've seen that cycle get faster and faster with the internet.
Alright, that's it for today. But I hope some of this investigation was useful to your own practice, and you'll carry those tips forward if you're ever engaged in this kind of brand building. If you like the music today, go and check out the community artists in the description below who have helped soundtrack the piece. And with that said, thanks for watching, and see you next week on Creative Minds.